JBN, we keep you informed. Coming up in the news, 3 men arrested after pistol and ammo seized in Trelawney. Suspect in New Kingston fatal shooting released without charge. Skeletal remains found in Freetown, Clarendon. Government promises upgrade of Mandeville water supply system. 8 alleged Klansman gang members freed of charges. Woman found murdered in Bogill St. James identified. Bail hearing set for man accused of Dr. Linvale Bloomfield's murder and concerns raised about murder accused who worked as school security. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items. 3 men arrested after pistol and ammo seized in Trelawney. A .45 pistol and several rounds of ammunition were seized in Albertown, Trelawney last night. Reports are that about 10:30 p.m., a team from the Ulster Spring Police Station that was on operation signaled the driver of a Toyota motor car to stop. The driver complied and 3 male passengers along with the vehicle were searched. During the search, the weapon and the 5 rounds of ammunition were seized. The men were taken into custody in connection with the seizure. However, their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Suspect in New Kingston fatal shooting released without charge. The suspect who was taken into custody in relation to the fatal shooting at the parking lot in New Kingston on Saturday has been released by the police. The suspect was released last evening following a question and answer session with detectives in the presence of his attorney Peter Champagny. Reports are that about 2:45 p.m. on Saturday, 2 armed men drove up to the parking lot on a motorcycle and opened fire, hitting 2 men who were sitting in a car. One died on the spot and the other man hospitalized. The brazen shooting incident forced patrons who were standing in the vicinity to scamper for cover. Skeletal remains found in Freetown, Clarendon. The Clarendon police are probing the circumstances surrounding the discovery of skeletal human remains in Freetown, Longswell Park, Clarendon yesterday. Reports from the Mapping police are that passers-by stumbled upon the remains about 8:40 a.m. and alerted them. On their arrival, the remains clad in a black t-shirt, green plaid pants and a pair of black water boots were seen in bushes. Investigators are now asking anyone with information that can assist them to contact the Mapping CIB at 876-986-2529. That's 876-986-2529, Police 119 emergency number or the nearest police station. Government promises upgrade of Mandeville water supply system. Residents of Mandeville and surrounding areas in Manchester are set to benefit from a $1 billion upgrade to their water supply system. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Pernell Charles Jr., who made the announcement in Mandeville on Thursday, said the project is expected to be implemented over the next 14 months. Charles Jr. was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the National Housing Trust NHT Perth Estate Phase 1A housing development in Manchester. We expect the general works that is being done will improve the overall Greater Mandeville water supply, which includes the development of 2 wells at Hansard and Cassava Factory at Goshen in St. Elizabeth, he said. This includes the supply and installation of additional pumping equipment for the gutters and respiratory relay stations, which includes what is already in progress, the supply and installation of pumping equipment and upgrades to the transmission and distribution network. Those things will impact the Perth housing development, Charles Jr. added. He informed that specific off-site works will be undertaken to increase Perth Estate residents' regular access to potable water. That includes the transmission of main upgrades between Kingsland Reservoir and the Perth tank, the minister noted. It also includes the upgrade of the Perth tank, including a construction of a new pumping station, as well as the supply and installation of transmission mains from the Perth tank to a new tank at Moorland, which will be equipped with a pumping station dedicated to serving the Perth housing development, Charles Jr. added. The NHT's Perth Estate Phase 1A development will feature a total of 118 housing solutions and will see the construction of 70 detached 2-bedroom units and 48 serviced lots. 8 alleged Klansman gang members freed of charges. 8 alleged members of the Spanish Town-based Klansman gang, who were accused of murder and other major crimes, were freed when they appeared before the Home Circuit Court Thursday afternoon. Prosecutors admitted that they were encountering challenges getting their two main witnesses to testify against them. Prosecutors from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions applied to the trial judge for the men to be tried using the statements of the witnesses under the Evidence Act. They argued that the witnesses had received death threats from persons aligned to the gang and decided not to appear out of fear. However, the judge rejected the application on the basis that the prosecutors failed to meet the requirements of the Evidence Act to allow the matter to be heard in the absence of the witnesses. As a result, the case was dismissed. The men were charged in 2017 under the anti-gang legislation following a crackdown by the authorities on members of the Klansman gang. Prosecutors alleged that the men were involved in murders, shootings, extortion, robberies, and other major crimes in Spanish Town and its environs. After consulting with DPP Paula Llewellyn, the prosecutors returned to court late Thursday afternoon and entered a nolle prosequi, which means that the Crown reserves the right to bring back the case if the witnesses decide to cooperate. 3 of the men remain in custody in relation to other serious crimes. Woman found murdered in Bogill St. James, identified. The woman whose bullet-riddled body was found in a car in Bogill St. James on Thursday afternoon has been identified as 51-year-old Ines Lois Carr. She was a resident of Chapelton in Clarendon. The Freeport police reported that shortly after 2:30, residents found the body slumped over the steering wheel. A motive has not yet been established for the killing. Bail hearing set for man accused of Dr. Linvale Bloomfield's murder. A bail hearing date has been set for May 3 for Anthony Simeon Sutherland, who is charged with the murder of former Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern, Dr. Linvale Bloomfield. The date was set when the 20-year-old appeared in Portland Parish Court recently. Mr. Sutherland, a resident of Buff Bay, Portland, was charged last month. Investigators say they found scientific evidence at the crime scene linking him to the murder. They are searching for other suspects. Concerns raised about murder accused who worked as school security. Children's advocate Diana Gordon Harrison has expressed concern that a man who was last week convicted of murder was employed as a security guard at Heltham High School in St. Catherine while he was out on bail. In particular, Gordon Harrison suggested that the necessary due diligence was apparently not done to ascertain the suitability of the man to work with children. The school was seemingly not aware that Roland Bonstroff, who was charged with the December 31, 2014 stabbing death of Kenworth Smith, was out on bail during the time he was employed at the institution. Neither did the school know that he had recently been convicted and is to be sentenced on May 3. When contact was made with the school on Thursday, the secretary said Bonstroff was not at work. When asked about the last time he had reported for work, the secretary said he had not been seen since last week. She expressed shock when she was told that Bonstroff was now convicted of murder and that he had been out on bail for a number of years. For the children's advocate, the revelation is troubling. Gordon Harrison explained that the Child Care and Protection Act provides that if there is any person who has been charged with a particular offense, including sexual offenses, cruelty to a child, or murder, that if such a person is in the same household as the child, that's a basis to say that the child is in unacceptable and inappropriate circumstances or environment. She said, if you were to extend that principle to this situation, where somebody is employed in a school who was on bail for a serious offense, that of murder, it begs the question of whether we are going to be proactive in the protection of our children, whether we make certain checks, and in fact do certain background due diligence on persons who we are going to be employing within the realm of a school. Gordon Harrison added that, from a proactive and overly protective kind of viewpoint, which I think is particularly justified in the climate of Jamaica right now, my concern is not just with this particular school, but sometimes schools in general are not doing a thorough due diligence, extreme background checks to see who are the persons that we're bringing into our space who are going to be exposed to children. She said while she accepts that persons have a right to earn, when it comes down to earning that living and interfacing with children who could potentially be exposed to inappropriate circumstances, then I think in this instance there's justifiable cause for concern. Bonstroff, 57, was found guilty of murder in the Home Circuit Court. The court was told that during an altercation in the bus park at Dowling Street in downtown Kingston, he stabbed Smith 3 times, twice in the chest. Evidence was given by an off-duty policeman that he had earlier broken up a dispute between the two men, both bus conductors, over passengers. They worked on separate buses that plied the downtown Kingston to Ochirai St. Anne route. The off-duty sergeant told the court that he reprimanded Barnstroff and told him to board his bus and leave the bus park. However, within only a minute, a loud commotion was heard in the area where Smith had been taken by other passengers. The sergeant testified that he saw the two men tussling, and as he approached them, Smith released his hold on Barnstroff and raised both hands in the air. The policeman testified that it was at this point that he saw Barnstroff stab Smith twice in the region of the chest. Smith was later pronounced dead at hospital. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.